This was either the Jake Moody game or the Dominic Pooney game, depending on how you look at it. What's up? Welcome to my instant reaction. I'm Grant Cohn. I'm at Allegiant Stadium. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, the coach, who is in his bat cave. He's near A field. Anyway, we're here to talk about this game. We're going to talk about whose stock is up, whose stock is down, and we're going to talk about whether Jake Moody deserves an apology. But first, I guess we should talk about like the actual news from a preseason game. Injuries. Dominic Pooney on special teams gets rolled up on PCL injury. They think could miss week 1. Not a season ender, not an ACL, but PCL. It's got a CL. I don't like the way it sounds. What do you think about this news?
Well, immediately it just strains on the biggest issue that we have on offense, which is not just the starting caliber of our offensive line, Grant, but the depth. Right now, week one of preseason, we saw the depth get exposed as far as swing tackle is concerned, with struggles from Austin Pleasance and Spencer Burford. And now this week we see stresses on the guards situation. Now Dominic Pooney got a demotion with the promotion of Connor Colby, but it seems as though that he's going to get right back into the mix with being the next man up at right guard and also being a backup center while we're still waiting on Ben Barch to get going. So right now, offensive line, they're kind of bleeding from all angles, and it doesn't look good. But one thing that we can take away from this, like you already mentioned, that this is not a season ender. Dominic Pooney was still back on the sidelines. He was walking under his own power. He did not have any braces on or anything like that. He passed the knee test. So, thank God we dodged a bullet. I'm willing to say that.
As a former offensive lineman and a former coach, how do you feel about Pooney being on the extra point team?
It's not really that big of a deal. It's one rep. It's PAT. They got to play. I'm under the belief that the reason why the injuries are happening so much, and that thank God we don't have as many season-ending injuries, is that you can't practice football. You got to play. You got to build a callus. You have to have hard practice. We can get to that. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. So look, I don't know if this led to the Dominic Pooney injury. I do feel like he's a little too important to be out there. Like, you could ask Connor Colby to do that, but okay, things happen in football. What I heard is that the Raiders, from people that are covering this team, have been, Pete Carroll's old school, and he's been doing like longer, grueling practice. I remember how Harbaugh did it, 2.5 hours minimum with some live tackling in controlled settings, usually around the goal line. Apparently what I heard is that the Raiders went to the Niners and were like, we'd like to do live tackling. And the Niners said no. And the Raiders thought they were kind of soft for that. Now, it's the Raiders, and they're not going anywhere. But I feel like Kyle's sort of in like a lose-lose situation. If he tries to protect the players and not get them hurt, they get hurt, and you're not prepared for week 1. If he does try to build up the callus, they get hurt, and they're not prepared for week 1. I feel my heart goes out to him a little bit. I feel like he tried to do the exact opposite of what he did last year, and it's not working.
Yeah, my biggest thing for it right now is that Kyle just tries to control the narrative in the situation. Like, he needs to figure out who's going to be better. Like, they actually need to work on the standard of the team. And when you're doing that, I think he does need to take the gloves off. I do understand that when you get a team that's in a Super Bowl window, you go from hard coaching that we used to have in 2019, where there were players that used to come here, and that was the edict that, man, they practice hard here. This team puts in way more work than the average NFL team. And it was our calling card. That slowly dripped away as we started chasing Super Bowls and trying to preserve what we already thought we had. And now you have guys where, put it like this. You asking why Dominic Pooney is on PAT in week 2 of preseason is viable, but everybody can't do it. You see what I'm saying? It's like Dominic Pooney will be added to the long list of guys who were already not playing because they were hurt or healthy scratches. Trent Williams was a healthy scratch. CMC was a healthy scratch. Fred Warner was a healthy scratch.
Because you wanted to protect those guys.
Right. Yeah, so, but we don't have the bodies.
Can't protect everyone. But Pooney's really important.
True, he is,
Yeah.
and I think we dodged the bullet, man. Honestly, but it's going to be tough sledding.
Yeah, if you're just watching, Dominic Pooney, PCL, could miss week 1. Could have been worse, but he's one of the Niners' important players. There was another injury in this game. Running back Corey Kiner, if you've been following him, he's an undrafted rookie. He's been really good all offseason. And, Patrick Taylor Jr. goes down with a separated shoulder. Isaac Rendo's been out, and he's not durable. And Jordan James having a bit of a tough time as a rookie. He's hurt. It's like the door just opened wide up for Corey Kiner. The line just opened wide up for Corey Kiner. Had this explosive 19-yard run, and then someone gives him a hip drop tackle, which is dirty, and he has a high ankle sprain. That's rough. I'm not going to blame Kyle Shanahan for that one. That falls under the category of football. Shit happens. But damn, they need him. Before he went down, he looked like the second best running back on the team after McCaffrey. What do you think of the running back position right now? The state of it
Right now it's got to be all CMC. He's got to lead it. Everything that they've been saying as far as holding the banner with, he looks better than ever. They're putting out all of these stats about him hitting certain miles per hour. That's cute. That's cool. But he's really going to have to show and prove when it comes to it right now, because we're thin. Right now, I don't even think we can even look at a running back by committee approach, because we don't even have a full stable. Corey Kiner was a good find, especially in lieu of all of the injuries that surmassed over the offseason. But this one is just, like you said, shit luck, man. It's horrible to see it happen. Thank God that it's not anything that's season ending again. It's a high ankle sprain, so he will be back. Also, if I do want to be a little bit, Machiavellian about it and just be a little bit icky, is that I was already saying he was not going to clear waivers. Right, because we already know that Isaac Guerrero has a spot on this team. Jordan James has a spot on this team, right? And there was a possibility that he may have gotten left out in the cold. And as good as he is, we know that there's no way he would have made it to the practice squad. With this injury, maybe this does put him on ice, and we get to truly hold on to a talented player.
Well, it's interesting. Maybe he'll start the season on PUP or something, but not only should he make the 53-man roster, he should play this year. To me, I would rather put him on the field than Patrick Taylor Jr., Jordan James until further notice. Isaac Guerrero is interesting, but I think Corey Kiner has better vision. Mm-hmm. I think he runs harder. I think he's more elusive. Now, Patrick Guerrero is very intriguing. He's big. He's super fast. He's a good receiver. But, damn, I really feel like Corey Kiner could be the kind of guy who is special in this system.
Let me ask you this.
Ashton Jeanty was out there today. He looks incredible. But I think Corey Kiner looks...
Don't do it.
I think he looks like he could be one of the better rookie running backs in the league. I really like him. Like, he's not Ashton Jeanty, but, like, he's nice. He's
nice. I had to pull you back, dog.
I'm not going to go that far, but no, he's nice.
Well, let me ask you this.
Should have been drafted.
You've seen... one of the reasons why I'm really hanging on to your opinion right now is because you have a rare perspective of the team right now for a moment, because we have not seen these guys at all, right? Mm-hmm. Literally, we've seen them twice. Mm-hmm. What have you seen from Corey Kiner juxtaposed to Jordan James and Isaac Guerrero? Leave CMC out of it, but what have you seen that is giving you confidence, particularly in team drills, and what teams they were playing with? Talk to me.
I love this question. To me, Guerrero's the fastest. Jordan James... I mean, he's been in and out, but theoretically, he's supposed to run the hardest. But from what I see, Corey Kiner is the hardest runner. Mm-hmm. He's got the best vision. He's the most decisive, and he can really make guys miss. He can flat out whiff in a way that I don't think Isaac Guerrero can. I don't think Patrick Taylor can or Jordan James can. Like, his elusiveness is special, and I'm so surprised that he didn't get drafted. That's why I was comparing him to Ashton Jeanty. Like, Ashton Jeanty will make you miss. He's bigger and more powerful than Kiner, but of all the rookie running backs, man, I saw RJ Harvey last week with the Broncos. He wasn't as elusive as Corey Kiner. Now, I don't know. Maybe he's better than Corey Kiner, but in this system, he's got some incredible jump cuts. And if you go back and look at his numbers from college, he forced more missed tackles than any draft eligible running back other than, I want to say, Ashton Jeanty and maybe one more guy. So the numbers were there. I don't know why he was undrafted. He didn't run that fast, but he plays fast. He runs hard.
Yeah. I mean, running backs are all about finding their fit, being comfortable. My thing is that I'd like to see him with all of the carries on his plate. It's a lot for you to come in and, make the sides, but being able to foot the full dish is a whole different ball game. So, as a
You know who
change
he
of
reminds
pace
me of?
guy, who?
I'm gonna go crazy right now. Who he reminds me of? Bucky Irving. Smaller, not super fast, but just incredibly elusive and runs hard.
You know what
That's
he
what
reminds me of? The bigger kid. He reminds me of a bigger version of the kid that we got out of Baylor about 4 years ago.
Hasty.
Yeah.
He's in the league.
He reminds me of a bigger version of Hasty. Like if Hasty had about 3 more inches and you put like 25 pounds on Hasty, that's what he would be. That's what he would move. Like I think he's sudden. He's got a really good center low gravity. He's got great vision. He's a hard runner. And all of that stuff. And then another thing is that he's crafty in the pass game because he runs good routes. Yeah, right. Hasty was all of those things, but he was in a smaller package.
True. I'm poor. Says first time in years that Kittle is not hurt in preseason. Oh, Richard Bard says, can Purdy, Little, and Pearsall carry the offense? No, I think they need McCaffrey. I think they need another wide receiver. They need all of their stars.
They need everybody.
They need everybody. That's a good question. All right. Jake Moody, 5 field goals made. He missed a 53-yarder. It wasn't great. He almost missed a 26-yarder. But with all that, game on the line, 59-yarder, nails it. Do we owe Jake Moody an apology after he won a preseason game?
Yes, we do, bro. We do. I know you do. We do. We do. For a moment, we do.
Okay.
Look, he essentially is fighting for his job every kick. That literally is true. Now,
that's true.
Is
pressure.
Now,
even though it's preseason game.
Yes. Now, is this the arsonist putting out his own fire? Yes, in a sense, right? However, this is what I do like, is that I could see if this was all about like an emotional roller coaster of when Purdy makes his kicks, leave him alone. When Purdy doesn't make his kicks, let's burn him at the stake. What I like about this is that it does show some form of consistency because he changed his technique. Jake Moody has already talked about this 2-step technique that he's changed into his process, and it takes power away from his kicks, but power was never the issue. So it kind of helps him with his accuracy. I feel like you are waiting to flame my take. No,
that's not fair. That's not fair. He acquitted himself today. My only question is, like, yeah, for sure, it'd be nice to give him an apology. Hey, man, we were really tough on you, and we were kind of trying to run you out of town. And if you had gone 4 for 5 instead of 5 for 6, everyone would have been like, this guy's a bum. But you make this one kick and everyone's like, all right, man, sorry. I'll be nicer. But the thing is, like, if we're being honest, let's say week 1, same situation, tie game, 59-yard field goal or whatever, 53. Are you going to feel more confident in Jake because he made this kick today?
No.
That's my thing. Like, great that you did it, dude. If you missed this one, I'd be nervous because, like, wow, you got rattled in a preseason game. That's not good. But he didn't. I just feel like this is gonna
such a dick
prolong his like tenure on the team. And when he does miss a field goal in a real game, people are gonna be like, man, we gave him a second chance, and I feel dumb. But hopefully he figures it out, Jake. We're all pulling for you, man.
This is my only thing is that he was really going in the tank. Listen, a couple of those kicks that he made were like pitches off the mound. Some of them shits was knuckleballs and changeups. Like they barely went in. So if we're gonna call it, let's keep it funky. So everything wasn't just down the
adventure.
Middle. Yes, it was an adventure. However, I will tell you this: after missing the 53-yard kick horribly, all right, 30, 26, 50, 44, and ending the game winner at 59. You got to give it to him. We don't even care what kickers do. All we want them to do is make kicks, and he made kicks. He lives to fight another day.
Maybe the fact that he doesn't have to worry about getting smacked by Debo helps.
That is very true. I find it ironic that now Kyle Shanahan brings up the fact that I don't want to say anything to the kicker. I honestly find it annoying. I don't want anybody to go up to the kickers when they're doing anything. I'm just like, wow. So now you say that. That was interesting that you brought that up.
A little late. Shady Luke says, why do Niner fans put so much blame on Moody for games and stuff when he has so many attempts? LOL, he'll get like 4 or 5 attempts, misses one, and people want him gone. People blame him for the Super Bowl. Crazy.
Mm,
Yeah, but that's easy for you to say. You don't root for the 49ers. That's not your kicker. If he was on the Eagles, you'd have anxiety. No one wants to worry
yeah,
about the kicker.
come on. A kicker being bad with the Eagles? Come on, dude.
Also, he's a third round pick, and there are other players they could have taken who are, good. And so him being like inconsistent up and down, still not really what you want. But I think today is going to be the day where he puts it all together. I think he's got it now. I'm so confident. Did that sound believable? I'm super confident in Jake Moody going forward. I think he's got it.
And then, can we also bring up something too? Is that it's not for the fact that Jake Moody is like we expect him to be great, but the beauty of Robbie Gould was that he was consistent. He stayed out of the way, no gravitas, just makes the kick and trots back off to the side. So he's got big shoes to fill. That's the problem. We resent Jake Moody is because he is a storyline. And you're the kicker. You're not supposed to be the storyline. Just make kicks.
Also, like, he made a 59-yarder today. Cool, man. That's because Carter Bradley couldn't move the ball down the field. When you have Brock Purdy out there with Kyle Shanahan calling plays and the offense is healthy, they're probably not going to stall out at the 49. They're usually going to go a little bit farther. And what you need is a kicker who's absolutely automatic inside 45. You don't really need a guy who can hit 50 from 59. Gould was absolutely automatic inside 45. And it's a good fit for this team. So I think that's why people are hard on Moody. He missed an extra point in the Super Bowl, man. That happened.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know why Kyle switched our needs from needing to kick power long kicks to taking away one of the meanest putting games in NFL history. Like, Robbie Gould was our putt game. He was our short game. Like, we got inside of 40 and it was like, it's a lock. We got 3. So let's try. So it was amazing.
Shady Luke says, I'm a Birds fan. I watched Jake Elliott struggle at times and look off during the season. Sirianni just believed in him and Bro went on a heater. Moody just needs to get hot. All right, man.
You got it, bro.
We'll see. Look, Jake Moody had one good game. I'm still skeptical, but it's a kicker. Bowen McCollum says, do you think that Lucas, Demo, Siegel, Stout, and maybe Pinnock will be the starters in the secondary? If so, what's your take and how would you feel about it? No, I think Stout and Green aren't necessarily getting passed up yet. If they're injured, then Lucas and whomever will start outside. But I do like Siegel. I do like Pinnock. It's a pretty good secondary. They have depth.
Yeah, that one thing that I like about this question, and especially the way that you answered it, is because I think that we're looking at Chase Lucas as an addition to a secondary, kind of like where we could fit him at. He's a nickel, right? So if Chase Lucas is ascending, then that means that Upton Stout is not playing. So Upton Stout needs to get healthy. I understand that he has a lot of promise, but that's the spot that he's about to fill.
Marcello says, Grant, are we winning the Super Bowl this year? Don't hate. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
For sure. Shady Luke says, make no mistake. I thought the selection alone was dumb right when they picked. I thought Tampa Bay. Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's the draft, where they got him. All right, before we move on, today's episode is brought to you by the Happiness Experiment. What if everything you've been taught about happiness is wrong? We chase careers, approval, more stuff, hoping it will finally make us feel fulfilled, but it never sticks. What if happiness isn't out there, but already inside you, just waiting to be unlocked? That's what's going on with Jake Moody right now. He's happy, which is why he's kicking well. Discover the book, The Happiness Experiment. Every person has a unique happiness type, and when you understand yours, everything shifts. You'll stop chasing and start creating joy on your own terms. Discover your happiness type with the free happiness type assessment. Go to myhappinesstype.com. That's myhappinesstype.com. It takes just a minute and it might change your life. Look at Jake Moody. Then grab your copy of the Happiness Experiment at Books A Million. This isn't just a book, it's a practical framework, a journey inward. It's a tool to help you reconnect with the happiness that's been waiting inside you all along. Pick up the Happiness Experiment and start your happiness experiment today. I can't confirm whether Jake Moody read this book, but I think he probably did. I think it's likely that he's kicking better because he's happy.
He'd be happy about it.
Why was Happy Gilmore good at golf? Because
he was happy.
His grandma wanted to be happy. He's happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Happiness.
Stock up. After today's game, let's name all the players we can think of whose stock is on the rise. Let's be generous.
All right. On the low, I'm going to give you a sneaky one. It may be a little underwhelming, but I'm doing this because I'm petty Betty. Jake Tonjes is stock up and he is outplaying Luke Farrell.
Hell yeah.
He's outplaying him, bro. I'm telling you. Luke Farrell, first of all, the reason why we got him was to block. Yep. Okay? He was supposed to be here to hold it down while George Kittle goes out and does his thing. He's already given up blocks in preseason games, dude, and I'm just over it, bro. All right? He's not really a threat in the passing game. And
he's not dynamic.
He's not dynamic. And Jake Tonges, I will tell you right now, he has been making plays in preseason, particularly in the last game that we just played. You got to give it to him. And if you really just take
he's like a bigger, stronger Ross Dwelley and younger. He could play a little fullback. He's got good hands. He's got a little wiggle to him, but he's bigger, faster, stronger than Ross ever was. He's a good-ass player. But you know how I'm a sucker for a Ross Dwelley type. But when you saw Tonjes at fullback today, I'm like, wow, that's not easy to do for a tight end.
He's outplaying Luke Farrell, and it's just it is. Luke Farrell had 1 catch for 13 yards. Okay, Jake Tonges had 2 for 11 at 5.5 per catch. All right, and I just think that Jake Tonges, he's been here a little bit longer, and it's just the 49ers way to overpay for a guy that you already have here. It's just what we do. So I think that Jake Tonges, his stock is up.
Love that. How about Ricky Pearsall? The first drive was largely about him, and he didn't score, but he got the Niners down the field pretty quick. He was going again. I don't even know the DBs on the Raiders, but he looked wide freaking open. It seemed like he moves really well. I don't know how physical and strong he is, but if you let him run around your secondary, he's going to catch passes. I thought that's sort of that's how they're going to use him this year. And I wouldn't be surprised if he stays healthy, if he ends up with 75, 80 catches, 1,100 yards, something like that.
It'll be good, man. We'll finally start getting worth out of a pick. I will say this: he looks much better than he did last year. You can see the work. He looks much faster, twitchier. And I did like that. I do believe that there's a really good connection between him and Brock, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. And I do agree. It's important for him. It's important for his stock to go up right now. We're in big trouble if he doesn't start performing this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing
DeMarcus Robinson isn't going to have 75 catches this year. And I don't know what to expect from Jawan Jennings because he had no offseason. But Ricky, he's looking good.
I understand that. Me too, man. I think that Ricky's going to be a guy and then especially I think that it's going to be good because Kyle does really good in trying to get singular receivers open. That's kind of like his specialty. So I'm excited to see what they have in store. I agree with that.
Okay, you go.
Nick Martin.
Hell yeah.
Stock up. Let's do it. So last game, Nick Martin was all over the place. He did have some upside, but one thing that I will tell you is that we kind of did a stereotype on him that really wasn't fair because he's undersized. He's a dynamic player, uses a lot of speed. We automatically went to, he's going to overcommit. Missing tackles is going to be kind of his deal right now. He's got to work on that. He has to be dynamic because he doesn't necessarily have the size behind him. We kind of went a little wild with it. He's going to be a special teams guy. Mm-hmm. But if you just look at context, this is the first football game that Nick Martin has played in over a year. All right. He's been hurt since week 5. And I don't think all of us took that into account with him just kind of getting his feet up under him. I got to be honest with you. I think that that's the truth because you can't play the way he did a week ago and have this big of a jump, right? We're talking 6 total tackles. All right. We're talking a sack. A sack and 2 tackles for loss, one which was like minus 9 yards. All right. And also he did really good in some pass defense areas right now. He was still flying around the field. One thing that I really like about his sack is that you did see him take his time with his slow to fast through motion on the twist stunt, getting through the A gap. He didn't just fly by. And what's crazy is that I think about 3 to 4 plays before that, he did jut in and he flew past a runner when he was going in through his gap. And I think maybe down the line, they sent him in and he actually got a sack. I think Nick Martin did well. And his stock is like through the roof right now. I'm impressed.
I've never been that impressed with D. Winters. No offense. I think D. Winters is a solid player, but I think you could see why the Niners drafted Nick Martin as high as they did, even having D. Winters on the team, because D doesn't do things like that. He's good. He's good in coverage, although he was on the field a lot last year when the Niners were struggling to stop the run. What I like about Nick Martin, I keep comparing him to Quan Alexander, who was a really good player before he came to the Niners. He'd already torn his ACL. But the thing with Quan is like he would always be the first guy to the ball carrier. and he might miss the tackle, but he hit him. He might fall off the tackle, but he'd slow him up enough for the rest of the defense to get there and rally. And I think that's sort of the idea with Nick Martin. You don't necessarily have to wrap up, although he will a lot of the time. He did today, but he's going to be there. He's going to be really good, I think. He's really explosive and fast, and he can go sideline to sideline. He can blitz. He can back up in coverage. Good player. I just want to see him force a fumble now or any type of turnover.
I would love to just see him be consistent. Are we done with stock up? Because I got
no, hell else. No. I got more. How about Chase Lucas? He deserves a few minutes. He deserves a few minutes because, like, if you let's say Upton Stout did every single thing that Chase Lucas had done so far in the preseason, people would be going crazy about Upton Stout. Have you seen him? He's so good at 2 picks and 2 preseason. But it wasn't Stout. It was freaking Lucas, who they got him from the Lions. So shout out to this guy. I don't know what's going on with Upton Stout. They say he has a calf injury. That could be anything. That could be Achilles. That could be a long time. So they need a guy, and it's Lucas. And it's not just the interceptions. He's had sacks 2 games in a row. Like, good player.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think that he's just stacking on good days now. He actually, one thing that I like about Chase Lucas is that given making a team and just like, him being a veteran in the league, you really do see guys that have a couple of good splash plays and then they mail it in. It's like, I've made enough plays for the day. I'm just kind of got to go through the motions. But he actually seems to get stronger as the game progresses. That's one thing that I like about him. He's sticky in all levels of the game, especially in the run game. I like him in intermediate passes, and the pick plus the sack plus being able to blitz. I mean, he's a triple threat DB where he's really forcing his way on the field. And that's one thing that I'll say right now is that with the versatility of him, he did get that pick on the outside. Can he push for that second boundary corner spot that Renardo Green is waiting on? Like, what do you think about that? Is that something that could be
I'd like
real?
to see it. They haven't really given him any reps that I could see outside unless I missed it. So I'd like to see if he can do it, because if it's not him, you're looking at Dallas Flowers. He's 28. He's been around. We'll see about him.
Darrell Luter? I heard he's a good family man.
Hey, I'm not out on Darrell Luter. I haven't seen anything that makes me feel like he could lock. I think if he's on the field, he's going to get targeted a lot. He did tonight.
Yes.
No, actually, let me tell you that one more stock up guy that goes right into this. Undrafted rookie Jacob Robinson. Maybe I'm reading too much into him, but I feel like people just leave him alone. He's on the field. He's playing left corner. He's number 49, and people throw at anyone else. I haven't seen really people target him yet in preseason and in camp. When they do target him, he often breaks up the pass. Not always, but for an undrafted rookie, the guy is really sticky in coverage, which is nice.
Man, you know who else that quite frankly, I've seen enough of, and I don't even really need to see him in the 3rd preseason game? Marquise Siegel. Marquise Siegel is a starter. He's starting at safety on this team. I just even like the 3rd down open field tackle again this week. He did it last week. He's using his body the right way. He plays outside of his frame. He's
that tackle he had in space over here.
Come on, yes. The one that Alfred Collins swatted at, and that he came in and that was beautiful. Marquise Siegel, man, like he's slowly becoming one of those guys where if he was to go down, I would be upset. Like, we need to start paying attention to getting him to week 1 as well. I think his stock is way up as well.
I got one more guy. I'd be remiss not to mention him, considering I really dumped on him 2 weeks ago. Bob Chosen. Robert Chosen. They signed him. He's been on the team 2 years. He had 1 catch last year. And when they signed him, I was like, not Amari, huh? Robbie Chosen. I just was like, this guy is washed. What are you doing? I said it at the team hotel after a practice one day. I'm at the bar that night. He walks in off a plane looking at me like, is this the dude who was talking hella shit sitting right here? And he was like, should I kick his ass? I might have to kick his ass. And I'm sitting there being like, don't kick my ass. Don't kick my ass. Don't kick. He didn't say anything. He was looking at me like, look at me. Look at him. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you. I don't even know you're there. So anyway, Robbie, I knew you were there, and I shouldn't have said that. And I just got to give him, like, ever since he re-signed with the Niners, he's been money. He's been really good.
I mean, 5 catches for 92 yards. You got to love it. One thing about it, I think he's a candidate to make the practice squad, right? I don't think
depending on the injuries, he might just have to play. But yeah, he's a practice squad guy for him.
True.
Yeah, man. So Robbie, respect. Stock down. Who would you say whose stock fell?
Alfred Collins, man, is listen, I understand that he's a rookie. I get that last year was the most football that he's played since he was a senior in high school. And a lot's been going on. He just made it into the NFL, blah, 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 blah. My man, his technique, man, like his feet, he shuffles and dances with his feet when he gets engaged with offensive linemen. He gets absorbed by offensive linemen. He doesn't have a second move. He doesn't necessarily have a rush plan either. He doesn't do a good job at disengaging off of offensive linemen in the run game. There was a couple of plays where he just got completely thrown off the line of scrimmage, and it's a problem. On top of it is that his motor is not really there. I just, he's got to do more. He's got to fight harder. And my thing is that a lot of his issues are technique things where he thinks that he can play his way, and he's not playing Coach Salah's way. He's not playing Coach Kaceric's way. Where I know Coach Kaceric is not telling him to jump flat out of his stance and start dancing back and forth with offensive linemen and getting pushed out of his gap. He's not playing with a flat back. He's not getting off the ball. He's not using strong hands. It's a problem. On top of the fact that he's getting tired. Okay, so his stamina's not there as well. It's a problem. Alfred Collins, his stock is down. There needs to be more. He looks like, dare I say it, Javon Kinlaw.
Worse.
He does. It's just the truth. Now, does that mean that he doesn't splash and we don't see why he drafted him? Of course you see it. There are a lot of opportunities that you see where he does his job, and if the play is coming right at him, he'll make it happen. But you can't just get blown off the ball. That's tape. That ain't opinion. Go back and look at it. You can't get thrown around. That's a problem. He doesn't. He stands straight up. His pads are all. He doesn't have good pad level, so it's a problem. He needs to get better.
That's a good call. I'm going to go with the run blocking in general. I think they couldn't run the ball. Corey Kiner had the one good run of the day, but everyone else was under 3 yards to carry. And I don't think it's because they're all bums. I thought Jeff Wilson Jr. actually ran pretty hard and was decisive. I just didn't think there was that much room to run. And when Trent Williams is out there, there will be for sure. But you take Trent Williams off the field, I don't know how they run the ball. They couldn't run against freaking the Raiders. And again, it wasn't because of the running backs, in my opinion. So Trent has to play, and I'm curious to see what happens at left guard. Aaron Banks wasn't great, but he was solid. And now you got Connor Colby, Ben Barch. Run blocking is what we know that the pass protection will be, and Kyle will scheme around it, and Brock will sort of buy time, but the run blocking is supposed to be good. And it wasn't today, and it won't be with Trent's not out there. So that, I guess.
I agree. We don't really have a north-south run game. We go to the sidelines. We're kind of like a run to a point of attack team, and I get that. But we got to put some teeth to the offensive linemen. Sometimes you make things really hard when you make us run from sideline to sideline early in the game when everybody's still fresh, right? It's like fighting for a corner or a point of attack where everybody still has their legs. That's hard to do. I just wish that sometimes we would just run through the A-gaps, a little bit of duo, I wish that we would just run a little bit of gap scheme, just allow these guys to put hat on a hat and
I know that's what offensive lineman wants to do on the first play. Can I hit him? Do I have to run? I just want to hit him. I'm bigger than him. Let me wear him down.
Yeah, I don't like how we do that in the run game, and I see why. In certain instances, I can understand that Kyle isn't necessarily confident that they can do certain things in the run game, but it's a problem. It's primarily the tackles, Grant. It's the tackles. I know that Jake Brindle's not out there yet, and he's going to give us he's going to give us everything to talk about when he plays. But right now, if you're just looking at the two games, we don't have tackles.
No, and what's my issue with Kyle Shanahan's offensive line and his run scheme, outside zone is effective. And, every scheme has strengths and weaknesses. The weakness of the outside zone, it's a finesse scheme. It's not physical. You're not pushing people. You're not displacing people. You're not creating a new line of scrimmage. You're just outflanking people, which is cool. But I guess one issue that I would say with Kyle's teams is sometimes they're a little soft. And it'd be nice to have like a power element with your team somewhere. Your running back is small, your quarterback is small, your offensive linemen are small, your cornerbacks are small. It'd be nice to have one powerful element. It used to be Debo. It was your wide receiver. I think that's lacking.
Yeah, we're just not. One thing about it, I'll tell you this is like, if you're not going to be one thing, you have to be the other, right? So my thing is that if you're not going to be strong, then you got to be fast. And we're not a particularly fast team. That's a problem. No. We're not even fast by process. You know, we're one of the slowest moving offenses in the NFL. You know, so something's got to give. One thing that I will say moving forward is that when that starting offensive line gets together, we're going to have to start early and fast with the run game. Like, we can't just pick at it. And I think that's what Kyle is trying to do early on. You see him like really delving into the pass game early. And I don't know, we may be another passing team this year.
Could be.
You, man.
Could be. I got one more. And maybe he's not stocked down, but I want to talk about him. Mac Jones, 13-16 with a pick. And so he's thrown 2 picks in 2 preseason games. I've been really praising him in camp. And one of the things he hasn't been doing in camp is throwing picks. Really, that's what Brock does. But then Brock comes to the game and he's a gamer and he doesn't necessarily play that way. And it's interesting to see Mac sort of be the opposite early on. Like, in practice, he's a machine. In games, he gets a little greedy, or he has so far. And I wonder if it's just a natural byproduct of what he's been through and what he's trying to prove. But I think maybe he just do a little less. Because 13-16 is pretty nice.
Yeah, I think that's why Mac is here. You're starting to see the reason why. It just takes a while. He's a little reckless with the ball, especially with just fitting things in. One thing I did think about Mac is that he's very conscientious as a passer. You can tell that he knows the offense, but his process gets the best of him sometimes because he telegraphs. He really focuses on his knowledge to be able to move as fast as he needs to. You can tell when he has to create or do anything off the fly, everything slows way down, right? And that's where you get those picks, where I think he's actually has to use his real brain instead of what he knows in his process. So I agree. He does need to tone it down a little bit. He'll be fine.
Deshaun DeVoe says, so Grant, when's the cage match going to happen between you and Lombardi? King Drizzy says, I'm a little worried about our LB2. I'm less worried about it tonight than I was yesterday.
Because of Nick Martin?
Yeah. I also saw I don't know if you guys noticed this, but wide 9 gets gashed against the run sometimes, particularly against teams that do the zone read. Saleh had a bunch of 5-man fronts out there today, and a lot of times that 5-man front had Nick Martin on the freaking line of scrimmage, which makes me feel like he's going to be the strong side linebacker this season. And he made it. I think one of his TFLs came from that position.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a little change up. It's nice to see it.
I like that. Yeah. See, this is the shit that we tune in for. Great. I bet nobody tonight
no one noticed that.
Mentioned that Saleh went 5-man fronts. And you know what? You're good, you.
I mean, look, I'm a Robert Saleh enthusiast. I'm always interested in his creative choices and what he's trying to do to counter offenses. And I mean, we've all been talking about the wide 9's weaknesses for years, particularly against heavy run schemes with quarterbacks who are involved. And it's like, where's your changeup? Well, we saw it tonight. And they have more. They have other 5-man fronts with like 3D tackles. They haven't shown it yet. I've seen it in practice, but it makes me feel like the defense is in good hands. We got Nick Sorensen. He felt like he wasn't using common sense. He was afraid to make an adjustment or a decision or a change. It's like he had to run everything by Nick Bosa or something. This is Robert Saleh's baby, and he knows what he's doing.
I like that. Let me ask you something. I know that you praised Robbie Chosen. We talked about Ricky Pearsall. I don't even know if we're going to cover Brock, but he looked like a starter. He looked like the $50 million man tonight. Came in,
really good.
Lights out, in and out. How much stock do you put in the fact that we probably went against the worst secondary in the NFL?
I got to put some stock into that. I mean,
you do.
Like he did what he was supposed to do, and he looked really good.
Okay.
But freaking Pete Carroll. Like
they're
not just
bad.
It's not just the players, but it's the scheme. And like Kyle Shanahan's been like coaching circles around Pete Carroll for about 10 years. So that's sort of what it was supposed to look like.
Oh yeah, all right. I just had
but I'm not knocking him.
There.
I mean, it was really nice. He had no running game. He was super precise. He's a good player. It would have been nice to see him put the ball in the end zone, the red zone, but I don't put that on Brock.
Okay, all right.
Man,
I don't know.
I like Brock. Brock's a really good player. The question isn't, is he good? The question is, can they win a Super Bowl paying him that much money? Maybe.
That's the question.
That's the
question. I think Brock is a good quarterback. You know, so I agree with that. Can they win with? And now that they paid him, can they win with him?
And that's really depends on how well they draft. Like the reason that the Eagles won a Super Bowl paying all this money to Jalen Hurts is because they drafted Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, bunch of guys on defense they aren't paying yet. Loaded. And the Niners aren't there yet, but if Nick Martin, Upton Stout, all these guys come through, then they could be. Bone McCollum says Alfred Collins has been nothing but a liability so far. It's embarrassing. All that yapping in the offseason about getting paid just to disappoint. Yapping.
Yeah, that'll put a target on your back, man.
It's true.
But I didn't get why we drafted him. I know we can't, he's ours now. But when we drafted him, I was confused because I don't get it. I know he stops the run, but he doesn't seem like that all-encompassing defensive lineman that the Niners have that does it all. Stop the run. I could rush the passer. I could run sideline to sideline. My biggest thing with him is that I think he may have to lose a little bit of weight. He looks a little clunky. We'll see.
Hey, at least he's out there, though. Michael Williams, not out there.
That's true. That's true. We just
there.
lost my boy CJ West.
Because it's like, look, Mike Hill might be good, but man, there's some really good players who got drafted just a few players after him. And the Niners could have gone O-line. They could have gone D tackle and then gone a different direction around 2 instead of Alfred Collins. I'm not saying they messed up, but there is a lot of pressure on those two guys to do something soon.
Our only thing is that we gotta hold judgment because I think Kyle is saying it best. The common denominator with all these injuries is that nothing is season ending.
Sure.
So we gotta see when they come back.
And his whole like approach to this season is judge us by week 12. We're gonna be a whole different team by week 12.
He said that?
He said that on Sirius XM radio the other day. He's like, look, who we are week 1 is gonna be way different than who we are week 12. So hopefully by then we'll be able to like find a way into the playoffs and then anything could happen. It's like,
did he just RFK us? Autism will be cured by September. Did he just
you didn't hear that? I can't get over that he said that on Sirius XM. It's like, all right, man. Well, if you lose to Seattle, no one's gonna say like, well, Kyle called it. Kyle really had the pulse on his team. It's not that good of a team. Like, nah, man, beat Seattle.
Yeah, they got to win. This season is inexcusable for them not to be trying to go to the playoffs. Period.
King Drizzy says, I know Purdy didn't play much, but MVP candidate 2025. Hell yeah. Him and Moody. Bo McCollum says, I must ask from the both of you, once this season is done, whether we win the Super Bowl or not, and we have to replace one of our tackles, do we draft Isaiah A. World from Oregon? Man.
I like
a little ahead
him.
of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, they may be forced to have to draft a tackle early, depending on if we got to pay Colton McKivitz, which I don't think that we're going to pay what he grabs in the market, and when Trent leaves. So yeah, we definitely got to go get a tackle. We may have to get 2 tackles next year.
Real quick, was anyone else interested in seeing what Chip Kelly's offense looks like? I mean, we saw him with the Niners. He went to UCLA for like 7 years, went to Ohio State. Now he's an offensive coordinator. I was so curious, like, what's different? Well, he doesn't go hurry up all the time for no reason anymore. There's some huddles in there. But other than that, the whole offense is out of the pistol or the shotgun. They have like 1 personnel grouping and like 2 formations. What is that?
It's the same. It's going to get picked apart, bro. Like I tweeted that this was a mid-off because it was like 3rd quarter and he kept running the same formation. It's like, bro, this is so boring, bro. Chip Kelly, they're going to struggle, man. People are going to pick that offense apart.
The thing about Chip Kelly, he's like a BlackBerry phone in 2020. He's so outdated. But the thing about him, when he was effective in 2007, 2008, his whole thing was we're running zone read inside. They're running the same play 3 times in a row. But we're going to do it so fast that it's going to work. because you're not going to get lined up correctly. You're going to get tired. It's college. Your players aren't that good. We can literally run the same play over and over and over again without any thought and win. You can't do that shit in the NFL.
No,
You can't do that shit in the NFL.
These are the best minds in the game. It's low-key insulting that you think that you could do that, where you think, oh, you know what? The the elements of the game will take care of our offense. It'll be in our favor, right? You won't be able to keep up because it'll be raining outside. It's like, come on, dude.
And this is what Pete Carroll needs to retire. No offense, man. You're a hell of a leader, and you've done some great stuff, but like your defense sucks. It has sucked for 10 years schematically. Everyone beats it. You haven't changed it since freaking Bobby Wagner was on your team. And Chip Kelly's the best offensive coordinator you can get. He is the best offensive coordinator you got to go, man. Sorry. Got to go.
Yeah. Remember that movie, The Old Guys?
Yeah.
It's giving Pete Carroll's whole coaching staff.
Yeah.
You ready to do this one more time, Danny Glover? Let's go, Al Pacino.
Sofa Potato 88 says red zone will be better when Trent and CMC are in. Agree. Killa says, I'm not even going to say that. Who's your favorite rookie so far?
CJ West.
Dude, 5 of them were out today.
I mean, if healthy, Jesus, I'm Marquis Siegel.
Siegel's been good. Martin was
Nick
fun
Martin.
today.
Yep.
The healthy one is my favorite rookie. The healthy one. You
guy.
name me who that is. Moody ain't fooling me or Grant. No Cowing. Where was Cowing today?
I don't know. He didn't play at all. He's been MIA.
Yeah.
Is Kyle
Coach and Grant are my
these
favorite
guys?
analysts. I don't know, man.
Let me ask you this. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have the 49ers had a hard camp?
No.
All right.
No, they haven't. I think they've tried their best to well, what happened is players got hurt, and now you're down 10, 15 players, and Kyle's like, all right, well, I don't want to overwork the guys out there. And I feel like they keep having shorter and shorter practices. Then they go up against a team like the Raiders or the Broncos in a joint practice that's been practicing longer and doesn't have these injuries. And it's like, oh, you're the soft team. And what's crazy about the Niners is like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they were the team that when they faced you, win or lose, you're going to lose the next game because they beat you up. They're not that team anymore. No. They're the team that gets beat up.
Yeah. I'm sensing it. Like all of the energy of, the young guys playing, them not putting any money into the offensive line, especially when it came to what's that guy, that center that we lost in the Drew Dahlman? Us trying to pick him up, and then come to find out, you know what it's giving? Dude, it is giving T-Moo season, dude. This is T-Moo 2026. We are not a real franchise. We're not. They're saving money, bro. We're $90 million a dead cap, third in the caps with cap space, dude, and we got all of these renter players. We're mid.
Let's compare them to 2019 when they first got good. And that year, the core of the team was young and hungry and not paid yet. There were certain vets on the team, but Bosa, Buckner, Armstead, Kittle, Debo, these are all guys who are on the way up. Warner hadn't gotten paid yet. You need that. Now the Niners, the core of the Niners team, they're all really good players, but what do they have to prove? Like, they're businessmen now. It's a different mentality, and I feel like that's what's changed with the Niners culture. There was like a bully culture. Like, we love playing football. We want to hurt you. We want to be physical. Now it's like, man, I got to protect myself. My neck's kind of sore. I didn't really practice today. Like, not to single out Nick Bosa individually, but he's practiced once in the last 2 weeks because his neck is sore. But then you see him out there before the game. He looks great. He looks phenomenal. But it's
I don't know. We have a kind of like we'll be ready when it's time. Like we'll be able to flip the switch, like turn it on and that never works. That's what is scaring me, is that it's like, oh, we hold out Trent, we'll hold out Nick, we'll hold out Fred. They'll be ready. They'll be ready to turn it on when it's time to turn it on. But it's like, I feel like the whole team can't move like that.
No. And those are the guys who are setting the example. Like, do you really want Upton Stout to take that example? Do you really want Nick Martin to get that example? Like, hey, if I'm pretty good, I'll blow off my responsibilities. I'll do what I want to do. Like, that's not the culture you're trying to make.
Dude, 10 seconds. You know what's sad is that before the 2019 and up early regime and all of the players, they were riding off of a legacy that was before them to be able to say that, you know what, we're the tough guys, almost in a little way taking a little bit of Coach Harbaugh's regime of we're the bullies of the NFL now. And it was cool to take that and steal it and move on. Almost kind of like Fred stealing Quan Alexander's whole swag. But now what's even weird is that
with it.
he wasn't true, but even that's so true. He made it big. He made it a lot line. He made it a hot song. It's the truth. Fred elevated it. But now, in a way, what's kind of weird is that now we have almost a new generation of players that are operating off of the success of us not winning the Super Bowl. Almost kind of like that, those 2019 to 2023 to 2021 year, where guys like, think about this, guys like Jair Brown, he hasn't done anything, but where's his confidence come from? All of those times where we had early success going to NFC Championship games and Super Bowls, right? Guys like Drake Jackson, who washed out, who never really got it together because it was like, oh, I'm gonna be good. I'll be able to fit into these guys. It never worked out, right? You got guys like who even came here, like Javon Hargraves, who came here and profiteered off of, oh yeah, these guys are good, but it's like you're riding off of like a third party legacy. And it's getting weird because they haven't really closed anything out yet.
Right. And you think these guys come, they think they're like good by proxy because they're on the Niners. Like, man, the Niners aren't really the Niners anymore. It's a whole different team. Inglewood Class 89 says Niners front office thinks offensive line isn't important, or they think it's easy to find, or that they just need solid starters. Bowen McCollum says, do we trade Brandon Ayuk for Terry McLaurin and also give them a second-round draft pick or possibly a third? Brandon Ayuk played with Jaden Daniels in college and has also made it clear on social media he wants to be there. I think the Niners have also made it clear that they're not trying to spend much money, and they would have to give Terry McLaurin a whole lot of money, and he's not young. 30. So I don't think they're going to do it. I was into the idea, but hey, you saw Brandon Ayuk running around today. What'd you think of that?
I think that the Niners, once again, maybe hurt themselves because aren't you not supposed to be working out with players that are active if you're on the PUP?
Yeah, how's that work? I don't know. I noticed he made a nice cut, but it was off his left foot and he injured his right leg. So I wonder how far along he really is. I would still imagine between weeks 6 and 8, 10. I don't know. Nakfa says, did you guys see the fan who flipped off Moody?
Yes.
I swear it wasn't me.
He had on the Nick Bosa jersey. You saw that?
Nah. Sean Shepard, haven't heard from you in a minute, man. What's up? How did they hire Geyer Haben instead of you? Because Guy's great. Will you forgive me for my Isaiah rant if I say, hey, Grant, then give you a hug? Anyway, Moody is going to blow it when we need the win. Kyle owes a favor. Thank you, man. AK Roll 65 says, put this super chat on black for me at Caesars. $2. Yeah, good luck. Our secondary got burned. Lenore and Jair. Lenore?
Oh. Did you see Lenore get put on his ass? He needed that. He been chirping all summer, boy.
Genty did, right?
Yup. You got put down by a rookie because you're going to eat that stank, don't it? You got to eat that. It's the truth, man. He needed that.
He also got burned deep and the pass was overthrown. But anyway, before we get out of here, so look, we watched the Niners. We've seen them all offseason, 2 preseason games, a lot of injuries. Nothing season ending, but they're definitely limping to week 1. Meanwhile, we watched the Seahawks last night against the Chiefs. It was just a preseason game, but my impression of the Seahawks are they're ready. They're a younger team. They're healthy. They're ready. I don't know if they're going to beat the Niners, but they're ready to play that game. Are you concerned about the Niners' readiness for week 1?
I'm not concerned because I have us losing week 1. But they look ready. They had over 260 yards on the ground before the game was over. And this is what you love to see about a team in preseason. And I know people love to say, oh, the score doesn't matter. Yes, I get it. Winning a preseason game in the context of the score does not matter. I get it. However, being able to kind of have an under the hood perspective of a team on all phases of what they have, you get to see a team's depth. And they continuously kept whooping the Chiefs' ass the entire game with every unit that they kept putting out on the field. Everybody from their running backs unit scored or either had over 35 yards. The quarterbacks were executing. They were all running. Backup offensive linemen, they were still getting pushed. Defenses were flying all over the place. Nicky Mawarmi, dog, he is a problem.
Good. And that offensive lineman they drafted in round 1, Gray Zabel.
Gray Zabel.
Best offensive lineman they've had in a while.
Stop. Hey, I get it. I love my Niners, but don't fake the funk. You ain't got a lot to kick it. The Seahawks look good. They look good.
Like the Niners core is probably better than the Seahawks core. It's
True.
more established and more highly paid, but your football team isn't a core. You're not a basketball team. It's the whole team. And to me, the Seahawks look younger, fresher, healthier, faster, all of that. And so here's the thing with them. The Seahawks have always been a good organization. They draft well, they have a good front office, but they sort of became Pete Carroll's toy. And his
pause.
He just fell apart. Yeah, pause. He fell apart. They haven't really had good scheme on offense and defense in a long time. Mike McDonald comes in. All of a sudden last year, their defense is cutting edge. Great scheme. But his offensive coordinator stunk. Now he fires that guy, Grubb, who's back in Alabama. He's a college guy. Brings in Clint Kubiak, who was the quintessential NFL offensive coordinator. I mean, his dad, Gary, is really good coach. Mike Shanahan's guy. Now it seems like they're up to date schematically to go along with their pretty good front office. It's a team to watch.
They're running our shit.
They really are.
They're running our shit. We're going to have another team who we're going to have to watch beat our ass with our own shit. It happened last year, all right, especially with Green Bay. Remember when we watched Green Bay last year and just the ingenuity of the offense was like, dog, we have not seen any of these runs all year coming out of it. Like, you saw somebody utilize Kyle's own offense better than him, and he stands to have that happen again week 1.
Let me tell you something about Clint Kubiak. I don't know if he's better than Kyle, but to me, there is a difference between the Kubiaks and the Shanahans. Yeah. And the thing about Mike is that he had Gary as his offensive coordinator forever. So they were kind of linked. But when you see Kyle without a Kubiak, I feel like he's a wide receiver and he gets in these pass first, pass happy modes. When his system that his dad and Gary built is a run first system. Then you look at Clint, that dude is so committed to running the ball.
Yes, he is.
So committed to running the ball. And if the Niners are going to win week 1, Alfred Collins, CJ West, Michael Williams better have a huge games.
And he just doesn't spam inside and outside zone. They get it done in so many different other ways. That's what really kills me about Kyle is that it's like, all right, dude, we get it. You get inside and outside zone, and it works. That's why schematically you have an advantage. But you're not supposed to just use it so mundanely. Like, come on, bro. Mix it up. Like, what are you doing? It just needs to do more. I'm looking to see what they do with the offense.
Look, week 1, they should have Trent. They should have all of their core, except for Brandon Ayuk. But will they have a backup running back? Will they have Dominic Pooney? Will they have Renardo Green? Will they have Upton Stout? There's a lot to be concerned about for the 49ers. If they lose week 1, it's not the end of the world. They'll have New Orleans the week after that. But when they talk about taking lumps, that could be week 1. And I think the one thing that Niner fans feel confident about in this matchup is Sam Darnold. You know, he sees ghosts. He doesn't have a lot of pocket presence. But I think one thing that was interesting about the way Clint Kubiak used him in this game was it was a lot of rolling out of the pocket and getting the ball out of his freaking hands real quick. Like, I don't need you standing in the pocket going through 3 progressions because you're not good at it. Let's roll you out to the right, throw a 5-yard pass. Let's roll you out to the left, throw a 5-yard pass until they can stop it. Let's keep it real easy. I like that.
Me too. I mean, being able to have Sam Darnold here for a year to sit back and actually learn the offense, then take it on the road in Minnesota, and then finally have it again. Don't look now, but this is essentially Sam Darnold's 3rd year in this offense. Okay.
It's true.
So nothing has really changed for him. And being able to actually just tweak a couple of things, be a little bit more steadfast on the run, which with the 49ers, we know that we get away from the run. With Minnesota, by personnel, you couldn't go that hard on the run because they don't have the personnel that we had. And then you got a guy like Jay Jetta who demands the ball, right? But he may have found his sweet spot with Seattle, where they're super committed to running the ball. They're young enough to run the ball quarter in and quarter out. So that's another thing about a run team is that you can't be an old run team. It doesn't match. You got to keep young guys in there to keep that thing going. And that's our problem.
Also, one more thing about the Seahawks, and we'll get off them. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is a good player. I think he's improving, and I think these Ohio State wide receivers are really good. And the Niners have never drafted one. They've drafted Ohio State guys they've drafted the last 10 years are like Carlos Hyde, Nick Bosa, and Trey Sermon. They should not only draft a wide receiver from Ohio State, they should hire Brian Hartline. Remember, he was in the NFL. He went to Ohio State. He's been the wide receiver coach there for like 7-8 years. he's doing something right. I'm just saying, I see neither here nor there, but I noticed it seems like all these Ohio State wide receivers are money in the NFL. I can't think of the last one who wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I do recognize is that the Niners love to go local when they bring in kind of like their
Arizona
offshoot
State
guys. Yeah, like,
Utah.
UCLA, Utah,
UCLA.
BYU, and that's cool. But I would like to see the Niners kind of get like a pipeline. That's kind of leaning more to what you're talking about. And really, if you get a
not
pipeline,
only would I draft that, I would hire Brian Hartline. That dude is good.
Well, I thought that they were trying to do that in a sense when they had that defensive coordinator from UCLA was up for possible interviewing at that time. It's like one of the things that's smart about grabbing those college guys is that they do keep you on the next wave of what's happening.
Yeah. Baby Radiant says Niners are so thin at every position. Yeah. Did any running backs hit 25 miles an hour? No, it's never happened in the NFL, but that was funny when Kyle said that the other day.
It was so funny.
Dangerous Dave says, why Trey looks so good? Niners go 8-9, Firebrick and Kyle. Trey played tonight, is 6 for 13 for 112 yards, also ran 4 times for 25 yards. He's not exactly lighting it up, but the thing about Trey that I think is smart from the way they're trying to develop him over there, they're not trying to make him like be this efficient, prolific passer. It's just like, let's start with you not turning the ball over. Don't lose the game. And I think he's in third preseason game, he hasn't made any big mistakes, which is, the Harbaugh can win without his quarterback being the focal point. So just don't lose the game like Herbert did in that playoff game.
I just think Trey's career is a sacrificial lamb for pointing out that the NFL needs a developmental league.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, if he had been 3 years younger and COVID hadn't happened and he could have transferred and he would have stayed in school, he would have left North Dakota. He could have gone from North Dakota State instead of the NFL. He could have gone to Michigan, played 1 year for Harbaugh.
He'd have been
before JJ McCarthy was a starter, won the national championship. I mean, he could have done all of that. And it's just, he would have if he were 3 years younger.
Yeah.
So anyway, Nakfa says Grant got some swag. I like the chain. Thank you very much. Just enough. Just enough. Who has more swag, me or Ricky P? White boy swag.
White boy swag.
White boy swag.
That's so gay.
Okay, with that one, thanks for watching, everyone. I got to get home. I got to fly back to the Bay. Coach, thank you for joining me on this. Was a lot of fun. Good stuff.
It was, man. Love being back on, dog.
All right, man. See you guys.